everything is so centered around the self.
This world is not all about me.
You're not just here to receive and experience all of these good things.
When I was my most self-absorbed in my life, I was the most anxious.
The thing that fulfills me the most is the thing that requires the most sacrifice. This is a pretty bold claim.
It is.
Living your best life is selfish.
Whoo! Snaps.
Some of you guys probably landed on this video thinking, all right, what are these girls about to say? You guys are crazy. But actually, we're going to spend the next little bit making a case for this statement. Living your best life is selfish. And really highlighting our culture today and how it is so centered around, everything is so centered around the self.
What you can get, what you want to do, what your desires are. You just follow your every whim and passion, and it's really all about you.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to lay the groundwork, get clear on what definition are we actually referring to. And like I said, we're defining living your best life as the culture defines it today. So if we were to sum that up, what that really means is to unashamedly pursue your own happiness, follow your passions, and unapologetically prioritize your personal growth. Some of you guys might have heard that and been like, okay, that's not so bad. Which, like, on the surface, it doesn't really sound bad. Mm-hmm. But if you really peel back the layers of that, there's nothing in that statement that revolves around anyone else outside of you.
And the truth is, we are designed to be relational beings. Like, this world is not all about me. I have a sister. I have parents. I am in a relationship. I have friends. Like, we are individuals, but we are a part of a collective body of people, whether it's in your neighborhood or at your church or just in your family. Like, we are a part of a collective. And this whole definition right here, it says you over and over again, like your own happiness, your passions, prioritize your personal growth. And like, with all things, there's like nuance to it and there's a balance to this. Like, I don't want to say that you just sacrifice yourself all the time, just live your own life for other people always. But like, in a way, that is kind of life. Like, it isn't all about you. And I feel like you know that more now than ever being a mom. And like you've said that, some of the sacrifices you have to make when you're like, I just have to do this for my son and I don't get to do what I want to do.
If I was just living my best life and the whole world revolved around me, I would not be connected to my family. I would not be married. I would not be a mom. I would not be a business owner, because all of those things require relationship. They are a two-way street. And I think the problem that we face here is that this definition and the whole idea of living your best life, it's so closely connected to, like, that is what is going to make me feel purposeful. That is what is going to make me feel fulfilled. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. But I think this conversation has really, if we're honest, been birthed from our own realizations of our own selfishness in past seasons. Realizing that we said we were living, for the Lord. We were doing His work. We were building an empire for other people to have an impact. We're building a legacy, contributing to our family. And on the surface, things can kind of look like that. But when you peel back the layers and you really pinpoint your core motivation, sometimes you realize, wait, all of the things that I really am stressing about, all of the things that I'm really focused and fixated on, it's all about me. It's all about my lifestyle. It's all about my own happiness, my own sense of purpose. And some of that is okay, right? Like we do, I believe, have an opportunity to feel happy and full of joy and fulfilled and purposeful. But even where we find our purpose, I think, can sometimes get a little bit messed up in the culture of today. But at the end of the day, it's not, nor should it be, about our own happiness all day, every single day. That's just a small part of the picture. And if you're living for that, I feel like you're holding yourself back from so much when it comes to your purpose and your calling and the depth of your relationships, the depth of your work, how you feel every single day.
Yeah. I know when I was at my most selfish and most like self-absorbed and prideful, I didn't feel true joy. Like when I reflect on certain seasons of my life, this like most recent past season of my life where I was just, it was all about me and what I wanted to do all the time, doing whatever I wanted and following all my passions and just trying to find my bliss kind of thing. I did not have true joy on the inside and I was not settled. And I know I did not show up for my friends and my family in the way that I am trying to now. And I know that there were so many instances in everyday life that I was just walking through life from this like selfish attitude and heart posture and doing everyday tasks from this attitude instead of being selfless and trying to do the right thing, you know, even if I didn't want to, like helping my mom do dishes. Like I vividly remember one instance in particular several years ago when I like needed to help. I think I was helping mom with something, or maybe you. I can't even remember the context, but I remember my attitude in the moment was so ugly. And on the surface, of my mind, I was like, I am a pretty selfless and kind person. You know, like I'm thinking all these good things about myself, but really at my heart was like, I had the worst attitude. And I was just like, I don't want to have to do this. Like, this is for, you know, someone else. It's literally my family, like someone in my family that I'm like having this bad attitude about it. And I've had to confront that in my own life. Like, and the thing is, like, selfishness can be sneaky. I've discovered that for myself, at least, because I'm like, there were so many times where I thought I was being selfless and when I thought I was doing the right thing that would benefit not only me, but others. And really at the heart of it, I was only doing things for myself and only living for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's ugly. It's like hard to confront that when you recognize it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're coming into this conversation, like we're not condemning anyone or coming at you and being like, these are all the ways that you're being selfish. Like we have been there. So from our own personal experience of having to confront pride and selfishness and arrogance, we're like, you know, we've been there. And there are still moments even today where you can easily slip into selfishness and pride.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it is hard to confront.
Yeah, it is humbling.
Yeah.
That's how we ended our last season. We opened by saying, I feel humbled.
Yeah.
Because we've been on this own journey ourselves. But if you're someone that feels like you're measuring the success of your life based off of, am I living my best life? This is just an opportunity to kind of poke holes at that and to see if there's something more, because I would say there's so much more for you. There's so much more for you, for your life, for the people around you than living that life, living your best life, following your own happiness and your own passions. There's so much more to life than that.
Mm.
We were placed on this planet for a purpose. That's like core central to my beliefs and my view on life. Like we're here for a purpose. I think that most people listening to this can agree with that. And if you are only living for you, you're not going to live that purpose, because your purpose, it does not just revolve around you. It does not just revolve around your own happiness. It revolves around people around you. It revolves around this concept of contribution. Like you're not just here to receive and experience all of these good things. That's part of life, but you're here to contribute something. You're here to put your hands to something. You're here to pour into your children. You're here to pour into your marriage, to make your house a home, to pour into your business and your community, to share your expertise with the world, to make the world a better place, to make life or business easier for other people. And eventually, we have to evolve beyond this idea that we just need to do what makes us happy, or we just need to meet our bare minimum needs. I think that if we're honest, that's a very immature way of looking at life. And that is what the world, that is what culture today tells us to do. Just go live your best life. Just go do you, boo. Whatever you need, whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you content.
Whatever it is that protects your peace. And like, Man, that's like a whole other thing. I mean, in the name of protecting your peace, people cut people off from their lives like at the drop of a hat. I know that has been prevalent in our culture in recent years. And
Cancel culture.
yeah,
Um, yeah, when people just cut off their whole family.
yeah.
And people have their reasons. Like, of course, if you're in like a truly abusive relationship, or if there's like real trauma in your past, I mean, that this is a whole other can of worms. But like in the name of protecting your peace, you truly end up taking the easy way out, which is like, I'm just gonna remove myself from this. Essentially, I'm just going to run away from this because I don't want to confront things in myself. I don't want to realize the true level of arrogance, the true level of pride. And I've done this.
Yeah.
I've left friendships with no communication in my past. I didn't know how to do it any better. So this isn't coming from a place of we know exactly how all of this works, but truly that is a prevalent part of our culture, and it's normal, and you are empowered. Like that makes you feel powerful. You're powerful when you walk away from those relationships, from those people, from those opportunities. And sometimes there's a time and a place to walk away, right? But many times, I don't know that that's really the best thing.
Yeah. And like, is the power that you feel from walking away worth the isolation of that reality of just cutting people off for the sake of it? Like, true deep relationships in your life, whether it's a marriage, or whether it's with your family or friends or whoever it is, every relationship requires work and sacrifice, and it requires two people going at it with the same goal of reconciliation and forgiveness and harmony together. So that really is sometimes the easy way out, unfortunately, instead of facing the hard things head on. And when you face those hard things head on, you actually grow, and you grow in your ability to move through tough circumstances, and you grow more resilient through that too. So you're kind of missing out on that growth when you just avoid those hard things.
So I think like this way of living, it costs you relationships. And you can hide that underneath something like protecting your peace. You can hide that underneath something like go live your best life and do you. But it costs, I think it also costs you at the end of the day the thing that you ultimately want, which is like a fulfilling life and a life of purpose. When we realize that our purpose is not us. That really brings some context, doesn't it? It's not just your own needs and your own success and your own prosperity, but it's truly what you've been designed to bring, to give, how you've been designed to serve. And I mean, gosh, I've never felt more in my purpose, felt like I was living my purpose more than now that I'm a mom. And that requires so much sacrifice, so much giving constantly, so much selflessness. When I became a mom, I just realized, wow, like I was living at one level of selflessness before having a child. And now, like, I'm living at a whole other level of selflessness because you're just constantly pouring into that child, pouring into your family and your home. And it's always cooking and cleaning and taking care of them, playing with them. And it's just a great example for this because I have never felt more fulfillment. I've never felt more purpose than when I'm filling that role. Like, my business doesn't even compare. Pouring into my clients doesn't even compare. Like, of course, I still feel purpose in that and I feel called to that. But it's just ironic that the thing that fulfills me the most is the thing that requires the most sacrifice. The thing that requires me coming to the end of myself on a daily basis somehow pours the most into me.
It's remarkable. I was just thinking in a different sense of how I have felt the most fulfillment recently in my work with you when I have like taken myself off of whatever pedestal I had myself on.
Mm.
Like a lot of what I do is behind the scenes work, and I actually really like that. I like just doing the video editing, and I like being on the computer, and I like working through the ideas and stuff we have for content. But like there was a time in recent years where I was just so fixated on a different path or like a different method of achieving my goals. I've always had this inner desire for wealth. I think just being raised in the household that we were raised in, like we just lived in abundance, and it was a mentality and a mindset passed down to us. And so it's just ingrained in me that I'm going to like aim for wealth in my life and to have more than I need, to have more than enough. And I think in the name of that and pursuing that goal years ago, I just got down this whole rabbit hole seeing what other people do online and their method for attaining wealth. And there's like a few people in particular that I got really into who are like super artistic, and like it just seemed so easy what they were doing, like podcasting and writing and whatever. It seemed so fun, and I was just like, that seems so fun. I kind of want to do that. And so I would pursue my own happiness, pursuing goals that in a way are good, like pursuing wealth, but trying to pursue it in the wrong way. And I was, trying to create a Substack and doing all these different things on social media that were so draining for me. And this is stuff like outside of my work. These were like passion projects that I did. And I was just creating content on Instagram, and I was on Substack and X and X, Y, and Z. I was trying to be everywhere and do everything because I was seeing everyone online live this life and, have all this wealth, and it seemed fun and it seemed easy. And in the name of trying to get there, I was just following all these different people's paths that weren't mine. And now that I've kind of stripped back a lot of pride and arrogance and selfishness and just wanting to follow my every whim and every passion, I feel much more settled and much more focused on like, this is where I need to be right now. And I need to put my efforts into our work together, like in this podcast and doing YouTube for the awakening and email and all the things that go on behind the scenes, and just pouring my all into that. I have felt so much more fulfilled and at peace because I feel like I'm on the right path right now and where I need to be. And yes, I'm working on other things outside of that and trying to write poetry. And that's something I feel like I am very compelled to do, but I'm not trying to write all this stuff and post it. Like I'm trying to be very slow and methodical and like pour into myself and grow outside of work. And then when I'm working, also just pour my all into that. And I feel so much more fulfilled and like I'm in my purpose because, man, this whole mentality of like, just live your best life and do whatever you really want to do and follow your own passions, that led me down so many rabbit holes I didn't need to be down. It led me in a lot of directions that weren't for me and that might work for other people, but it wasn't working for me. So I'm just like, sometimes living your best life in this regard isn't the way, and it can distract you from your purpose and what you really need to be doing.
Man, I have so many thoughts. I'm deciding which direction to go in, but I did want to mention when you pursue happiness, you're rarely content because your idea of happiness can sometimes look incredible. Like you were saying, it looked like they were living so amazing with their podcast and their writing, and everything just was so happy-go-lucky. They were on cloud nine. Like, if I could just have that, then I'll be happy. But like, I feel like happiness is, number one, it's a choice. It's a state of being. So like that can't be the destination. That's so like flimsy.
Yeah.
There's no like stability to that. That's not going to hold. And again, you're never really going to reach that place because you've created a nirvana in your mind. You've created an idea of, when I just get there, everything will be amazing and there will be no pain and there will be no pressure and there will be no stress. That is a lie. Your purpose comes with pain because the pain is what molds you, it shapes you, it prepares you, it paves the way for you to carry where you're going. So if you're trying to avoid pain, you're never going to get to your purpose. You're spinning your wheels. Your purpose requires pain. It doesn't require suffering. Our dad made this great statement this past weekend. Pain is different from suffering. Pain is inevitable. You're going to feel pain in this life. You're going to feel the pressure from your business. You're going to feel pain in relationships. I feel a lot of pain in motherhood right now. Oh, man. I do. But pain is different from suffering. Suffering is a choice. Suffering is a mindset. But your purpose requires pain, so stop trying to avoid it. Stop creating this nirvana in your mind and saying, I'm just going to pursue my happiness. And like when I get there, everything's going to be essentially perfect. We all know that that's not how life works.
Facts. Suffering is optional. That is totally a choice. And that's just good food for thought. Like, instead of trying to live your best life and do all these things that will make you happy, trying to instead choose happiness as your attitude every day. Wherever you are, if you're not where you want to be exactly, or you're pivoting, or whatever your circumstances are, choosing happiness as an attitude instead of something elusive that you're trying to like find elsewhere. There was, in some of the research I did going into this episode, there was some psychology related things that I discovered that I found interesting. And this was saying that people who directly pursue happiness tend to find it elusive. It's hard to grasp, but people who are absorbed in work, love, or purpose beyond themselves report the highest well-being. So it literally can go against your own very well-being if you're just trying to pursue happiness, because it is elusive and it's a hard thing to grasp, but it can be maybe something that you plant in your own mind. It's like it's your mindset. Happiness is your mindset. And then if you pour your all into your relationships and your work, like that's going to be the most fulfilling. That's where you're going to feel like you have the highest well-being possible.
I feel like everything that we're laying out is just making a case for the fact that happiness is different from your purpose. They're not the same thing. And I think our culture has made them one. They made them equate to the same exact thing. But I know for me, the seasons when I have been pursuing my own happiness, pursuing my own passions, and really just creating my own vision board of life, it was all about me. Essentially, in my deepest seasons of selfishness, I was the most anxious. I was performing. I was living a performance because I was so obsessed with myself. I was so obsessed with how I was perceived. I was so obsessed with how rich I was, how much I did have, how much I didn't have. And every day you're waking up thinking, how am I going to make this happen? How am I going to, a lot of thought goes towards money, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of worry. And so the question has to become like, what fruit are you seeing in yourself? Are you in a constant state of anxiety, of stress? Are you thinking so much about the money that's in your bank account? Are you thinking so much about how that person did you so wrong and what you're going to do to kind of get back at them without really directly getting back at them? Like, what fruit are you seeing? And that will very quickly reveal to you whether or not you're operating from any level of selfishness. We can all fall into this. Like, no one is immune to this. This happens to all of us. And it's like a daily check in our heart, a daily check in our posture. I'm constantly revisiting this, and I'm constantly like laying that down every single day.
Absolutely. That's such a good point. I feel like when I was my most self-absorbed in my life, I was the most anxious. And I even think back to previous seasons of this very podcast where I was feeling the most immense amount of anxiety because I was trying to be perfect. I was trying to be perceived a certain way. I was so absorbed with myself and my self-image and what people think of me. And so much of that I've been like moving through. And, there's always going to be things that pop up from time to time. But man, I used to get so anxious. You can attest to that. Like, I sometimes would have emotional meltdowns and freakouts because I was just so concerned with myself. And it's just so detrimental to you.
You were a walking ball of anxiety.
I was.
Like, girl, you have a testimony. You were like walking ball of anxiety. I know we all deal with the level of like stress, but like it is so different now.
It was debilitating.
That's the word.
Yeah.
It would freeze you up.
Yeah. And like I actually had a moment of this sort of anxiety last week when we were together that like it made me think over the weekend of like where did that come from and why did I slip back into that place? And the root of that I discovered was I'm just too concerned with myself. And it's tied to perfectionism and wanting to be perceived in this perfect light and wanting to speak in such an eloquent way and wanting to make sure everyone understands me and whatever, wanting to make sense to everyone. And man, it was so tied to like myself. And I'm like, dude, like I am not that important. Like I am just, it's not that deep. Like
it's just not that deep. And nobody is looking at you and thinking about you as much as you think they are.
Yeah, we're all thinking about ourselves so much more than anyone else is thinking about us. Like that is something that takes so much of the pressure off for me when I'm just out and about. I used to be that person who like I'd be out and about and I'd be like, what is that person thinking of me? And do they think I'm pretty? And what do they think of me? And I'm like, when I'm out and about, I am so like in my own mind. And I know that most people are. Like most people are just in there. They're thinking about their tasks they need to do later. They're thinking about stuff on their schedule, or they're thinking about those same thoughts of like, what are those people thinking of me? So we're all just kind of like in our own heads and so self-absorbed. And it's like, it's just not worth that. It's not worth that anxiety.
It's so true. Girl, get over yourself.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest breakthroughs in the speaking training that I did. Just observing myself, listening to other people speaking. Even at the event we went to, when other people are on stage, you're finding a way to relate to that person. And you're having like your own inner dialogue about like your own journey and like, oh, that was such a good point, or I need to write that down. Like you're not just nitpicking the person.
Yeah.
And I think that so often that's how we are trying to show up to curate ourselves a certain way so that people can't nitpick us, or if they do, like it's not so bad.
Yeah.
That's so exhausting.
Yeah. Like you can't control people's perception of you.
No.
You just can't. You got to release that.
You gotta let that go, girl. Let it go. It feels so much lighter.
Yeah.
I feel like so much of selfishness is really rooted underneath the larger conversation of pride. Being prideful.
Man. Pride. Dude, we're just laughing because like, man, we have been in a season of just discovering the ways that we've been selfish and prideful. And it's crazy because you just wouldn't even think it of yourself. And maybe even people close to you wouldn't think it of you. Like I said before, selfishness is sneaky. And I feel like pride can be sneaky in that way. Like you may have some people in your life that you're like, yeah, that person's prideful.
They are arrogant.
But I would say for most people, pride comes up in this very sneaky way. I remember having a conversation with my boyfriend like maybe a few months ago about this and being like, I've been confronting pride in myself and my life and it's coming up in all these ways. And he was like, I would have never thought you as a prideful person. Like you seem so selfless and kind. And I'm like, yeah, but like there's all this stuff underneath. That's where I feel like it comes back to like a heart posture because like I said before, you can do things on the surface that seem selfless or good. Like I could do the dishes for my mom when she's in a pinch and I could just do that. And from the outside looking in, people would say, oh, that's nice. And that's a kind, selfless act. But in my heart, if I have the wrong attitude and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I could be doing something else and I could be doing whatever. And this is just annoying that I have to do this. It's cutting into my time that I have to work or it's distracting me from this and that. It's like, dude, it always comes back to like the heart posture within you. So I think you're going to know more than anyone around you, whether you're operating in any amount of pride or selfishness or arrogance, like, because you'll be able to see it in yourself in a way no one else can, because it's like rooted in your heart.
Yep. That's what we're trying to get at with this episode. We're trying to like get you to see areas where it's beneath the surface, but areas where you might be operating from selfish desires, from pride, because man, that stuff really does bog you down. It wears you out. And again, it does delay you. It holds you back from a lot of the things that you're meant to be doing. I was thinking about yesterday morning when I woke up and I had to do a ton of stuff to get the baby out of the house because we were going on a spontaneous adventure to a river. And if you know, going anywhere with a child is just ridiculous. I used to be like, let's go to the coffee shop, get my phone and my keys, and we're gone. But today, it's like, gotta have the whole car packed, gotta have snacks, and you have the whole thing. So I get up and I get Leo, I get him changed, I pack his water, I get his breakfast, I make breakfast for everyone. Meanwhile, my husband is like moving at his normal pace in the morning. And I'm sorry, but he just moves slow because he is more methodical in everything that he does. I am a freaking tornado.
Tornado.
That's what I am, a tornado. Like, not even a normal tornado. I will get up and I'm ready to go. That's just how I've always been. And so I accomplished like 50 things by the time we're headed out the door. And I am met with this temptation to be pissed, to be like, he's doing nothing and he's moving so slow and I am doing everything, and like the world needs to revolve around me and he should really be doing blah blah blah. That's not really what I'm saying to myself, but that's really what I'm saying to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should be doing more because the world needs to really revolve around me and this should be easier for me, and he does all of this stuff on a daily basis. It's not like he's lazy or anything. It's like one day, and I'm like checking my attitude in that moment, and I'm like, you know what? I'm grateful that I have a child to dress. I'm grateful that I have a mess to clean from my family. I'm grateful that I have a family to make breakfast for. I'm grateful that I have a car to put all my belongings in. I'm grateful that I have a husband who loves to cook, and he usually cooks like all the time. So then we start like combating some of that with like a nice dose of reality. Like, you are not this like all-star Miss Thing. Like, come on now. You're a part of a family unit, and I'm going to just choose to be grateful. I'm going to just choose to, how can I be of service? How can I, not to get anything in return, but like, how can I just humble myself for a minute and really serve my family? And how often do we ask those questions every day? Most of the time, we're just like going through the motions, and it's like kind of all about us and like what we're getting out of it and what people are thinking about us. And there's a whole other slew of things that come with like the business side of things, like how are people looking at me and do I look successful and whatever. But it's like sometimes the question just doesn't need to be, what do I get out of this? Is this going to make me happy? Sometimes the question needs to be like, how can I serve in this moment? How can I be selfless in this moment?
Man, yeah, how can I contribute? That's been so on our hearts lately. Contribution and being selfless, like, and I think in being selfless and making sacrifices, sometimes that feels hard and painful, but really in the long run, I feel like that is what makes you truly like fulfilled, and that adds to your happiness, like, because it makes it, honestly, doesn't it make you feel good to like do something good for your loved one? Maybe in the moment you're like, oh, I just don't want to do this right now. But like in the end, you're like, I feel good that I did that. Like, I feel good when I wash some dishes up for my boyfriend after he's had a really long shift. And I'm like, you've been working all day on your feet and I'm going to do this because like it needs to be done. And it makes me feel good. Like, it's not that I'm seeking to feel good from it, but I'm like, it makes me feel good to contribute in that way and to make it easier for him or to like lighten the load for him. Like, it makes you feel good to contribute. And maybe if you're contributing from like the wrong heart posture, you just keep contributing and you keep showing up and doing selfless things. And maybe by doing that over and over again, and like you were saying, like you were reminding yourself of being grateful for X, Y, and Z, like the more you express gratitude, maybe that will help you. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of lost my train of thought there. What was I saying?
No, it's like the more reps that you put in,
yes,
the more you reinforce like the gratitude.
Yes, it strengthens that muscle and actually contributes to your fulfillment and happiness and joy levels. Like you were talking about all these things that you're grateful for, and when you were saying all of that, I was like, that is how you think yourself happy. Like it's maybe kind of hard in the moment, but the more you do that, the more you express your gratitude, even just in your own heart and to yourself, like you're actively changing your heart posture and your mindset and your attitude. And the more you do it, the more you'll be able to do it from an authentic place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the more you do the selfless things, I feel like the less selfish you become because you're like actively becoming more and more selfless.
Even if you don't feel like doing it at first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like most of the time you probably won't feel like it.
Still, like even now, we don't always feel like doing the things that we should be doing from a certain heart posture. But like doing that, like pursuing this path of being a more selfless person, mother, entrepreneur, just human being, like it does change you and it changes the fruit of your life. It changes relationships. It changes business. It changes you so much. I was having a conversation with my husband yesterday and I brought something up and he was like, who even are you? Like, you never would have recommended this a year or so ago. And I'm like, dude, I have been on the path. Like, ever since getting baptized, 6 to 8 months ago, I feel like a truly different person. And part of my path has been this realization of the pride and arrogance and selfishness that I have been operating under in every facet of my life. And it's changed relationships with family members. It's changed my pursuit of entrepreneurship and business. It's changed our relationship, our friendships. It's changed my motherhood. Like, it really does transform you and it makes you feel so much lighter. Like, I have no inkling, no desire in me to perform for anything or anyone. I think even years ago, the idea of coming on the internet and saying living your best life is selfish would have horrified me because I'm like, people are going to twist that. What are they going to think? Like, I need to make sure that they actually understand me. That's actually not my responsibility and I don't care. I just don't. Like, I love you, but I don't care. Like, what you do with this, you do with it. And I'm just doing what I feel called to do. And I think that this kind of leads us into the conversation of what does it really mean? What should it mean to live your best life? In culture's definition, it's just our pursuit of happiness and passion and whatever makes us feel good. But another caveat there is sometimes what makes you happy isn't good for you. It's like really bad for you. And it's bad for the people around you.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah. And what makes you happy is sometimes kind of subjective to you. And like, we've been talking about this whole episode, like we're a part of a community in some way, or a part of a family unit or whatever. Like, we are relational beings and we've got to find some objectivity, right? Like, you can't just be so concerned with your subjective happiness and what you want all the time. But absolutely, like, what makes you happy in the moment can be detrimental to you or your relationships or the people around you and how you relate to others. Like, it's not always a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's so many examples with that, but I think you guys get the point. Like, sometimes that's just not what is good for you in the short term or the long term.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that is really the pursuit. Like, that's not really the best life. Like, I feel like living your best life equates more to you pursuing your calling and the assignment in front of you. And it's important to note that that is not just about you. I think that pursuing your purpose creates the byproduct of your own happiness. It creates the byproduct of your desires being fulfilled. Maybe that's getting a home or increasing your revenue or having a family. It creates those as byproducts, but that's not the focus. The focus is my path to the calling. Like, why am I here on this earth? Why have I been placed here on this planet? Realizing that it's so much bigger than myself and it's so much bigger than material things. And answering that question, how am I meant to contribute? To me, that's the conversation.
Yeah. That's where you get the most fulfillment from. I mean, like I was saying earlier, I have felt the most fulfilled in this season of my life because I feel like I'm contributing so much more to like work. I mean, if I'm just looking at work, like I'm contributing a lot more from like a better place and it feels really good and I feel very fulfilled in that area of my life. And I feel fulfilled in every area of my life in some way, shape, or form. But I feel like that has come from like dethroning yourself and dismantling pride and arrogance and selfishness and showing up for people in this selfless way, or trying to the best of your ability to be selfless. Like, I've been trying to pursue that in like my relationship with my family and my friends and my boyfriend and everyone. I'm like, I just want to be like, how can I show up for you today? Like, how can I help you? Because the one great thing that comes from that is like there's less time for you to even think about yourself and be concerned about yourself. Like, that's something that I have struggled with so much, is if I'm left alone too long, if I'm left alone with my own thoughts too long, anxiety central, I will be so like anxious and maybe even depressed and just thinking like all these things about myself. And then like, dude, once I snap out of that and I'm like, I just need to go do something for someone. I need to go like help my sister with her baby. I need to go help my mom like with something. I need to go do something else. And like doing those things, contributing to those relationships is fulfilling and pours something back into you. It's like when you pour out, it pours back right back into you like sevenfold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is like even extending beyond just the people closest to you. I think it's like a way of living. It's a way of life. Like, how often do we go out and about and everyone's on their phones, like literally their faces in their phone? Like, Jordan and I were coming back on a flight from Arizona last month, and we were sitting next to each other, but like on aisle seats, and we were cackling, like crying at how people were engaging with their phones and devices. It was like, we got Instagram scrolling for an hour, and now we adding a laptop to the background. We gonna go ahead and put a movie on, and then we're gonna go stroll TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And it's like, oh my gosh, like everybody's just so absorbed in consumption and also themselves. And when you go out and live your life, you're not on your phone. You actually look the cashier in the eye and notice their name and say, "Hey, Tom, how are you doing? How's your day going?" Like, people literally will take a double take at you. I've done this. People are like, it kind of makes them uncomfortable. And I'm like, I'm going to keep making you uncomfortable because I'm going to just like greet you like a human and go out of my way to have a conversation. Or if I think a compliment of someone, actually going out of my way to tell someone. And that always makes me feel so good about myself. Like, when I leave that grocery store, I'm like, I love that. Like, I hope that made their day. Like, I hope that, you know, made them feel like happy for a second to like chat with someone or to receive a compliment. So again, this is like a way of living that extends even beyond your close relationships. It's just like looking up for a second and out. Like, stop looking at yourself and stop like worrying about that. Nobody needs that. You don't need that.
That's so good. It's like not just looking up and out from your phone, but looking up and out from yourself.
Yeah.
That is so good. Look out into the world. Like, there's so many people to interact with and relate to and converse with. And I know I've been trying to do that more, like get out of my own way, get out of my own head, and just like talk to the cashier or talk to the person at the gas station or whatever, like spark up conversation. And I used to not do that as much because I was so concerned with myself.
Just wanted to hide.
Yes, I wanted to hide. I would not look at people. I wouldn't even make eye contact with people because of my own anxieties about perception and the way people saw me. And that is so sad. But now I'm like, I look up, I try to meet people's eye contact, even if I just am passing someone, looking them in the eye and acknowledging them and giving them a smile and saying, hey, like, how are you doing today? It's like just the simplest interactions I used to avoid because I was so anxious about the way people saw me. And now I'm like, I just want to do it because I just want to spread like a little seed of joy. And you never know what people are going through. You never know if someone could be having the worst day ever. And then you just looking them in the eyes and like meeting them there in that moment could shift the trajectory of their day or their week or their entire life. You never know. You never know.
Yeah. Ugh. And sometimes you don't see the fruit of that either. Like, sometimes in that moment, you don't see instant fruit that like, oh, they're so happy from this, or like this just transformed the trajectory. Because again, it's not about you. Like it's not about your needing validation and recognition either. And this is the beauty of just seeking to serve wherever you go, is that you remove yourself from the picture. It's no longer about you. And so therefore, there's like nothing to stress about. But like if you're going to the grocery store, or you're going to speak on a stage, or you're going into a sales call and you feel like debilitating anxiety, it's normal to feel like sensations of nerves. But if you're, well, maybe not the cashier, but like if you're going on a stage, maybe. But if you are feeling debilitating anxiety, I would encourage you to dig a little bit deeper, because there's likely an element of self there. You're fixated on perception. You want them to look at you a certain way. It's all about you. You're making it about you. And so that's the freedom here, is that when you're just seeking to serve and you're looking up and out, you're looking at the people around you, you're contributing, it's not about you. It's not about your success. It's not about validation, affirmation. It's not about perception. It's just about the people in front of you, the person in front of you.
Mm.
There's so much freedom in that. I know I've found so much freedom in that.
Mm. Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, this is a moment to reflect and see if there's any opportunity to really poke holes at this whole ideology that revolves around living your best life. Is that really the pursuit? Is that really what your best life looks like and feels like? Or is there more underneath that? Is there more there? And it's an encouragement to just start thinking bigger about life than yourself and your own success and your own money, but the people around you, the relationships around you, the roles that you're meant to fill, how you are meant to contribute, not because of what you'll get out of it, but because that is tied to your calling, the work that you are here on this planet to do.
That was a solid episode.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
You feel good about the flow?
Yeah.
Hail. Hail. Woo! Woo!
I wanted to like add in more like vocals or something, but I would get off with that rhythm if I did. So I was just like
Violently like
laughing. I can't. It's so
Wow.
funny. Man, I'm really enjoying this season so far.
so good.
Hope you guys are enjoying it too.
It's so fun. Oh man.